Good morning, and please forgive me if the camera's shaky. I'm holding it, and forgive the low lighting. I just woke up, and I managed to make myself look somewhat human, so that's why I'm pointing the camera at me. So I'm sorry if you can't really see me, but I wanted to talk about something very personal. And it has to do with stage fright, because I have very terrible stage fright, and there's a reason. Because I had somebody PM me asking me why I don't ever really sing live that much, or why don't I sing in front of an audience, like a live performance. And you know, if I'm singing along by myself, you know, in front of the camera, that is completely one thing, but in front of a crowd is a completely different situation altogether. Oops, let me turn my computer down before it makes noise. When I was in 8th grade, I joined this class called Mixed Glee. And I really didn't know what it was. I just thought it sounded neat, so I joined it, and it turned out to be choir. So when I went to high school, I signed up for choir, the women's ensemble, and at the end of every year, we did a Broadway concert. So Broadway songs, just, you know, that was always a theme for the night, and we would dress accordingly to whatever we were singing for. You know, there'd be group songs, and there were solos, and I figured I would wait for my senior year and just have a big finish. So I picked the song Memory from Cats because I had heard it and I thought it was beautiful. It is the song that was on my grandma's music box. It's not really a music box, it's a little rocking chair, and it plays a song and it rocks when you wind it up. It's really, really cute. I would show it to you, but it's too dark to see it in here. My room is nicely dark in the morning. Anyway, the problem is that the only recording of Memory that I had was the Barbra Streisand version, which has a guitar and other instruments, and you just sing to a piano at the Broadway concert. So I took a tape recorder with me to school, and I would ask the teacher to, you know, could you please play the accompaniment for me and record it for me so that I can sing to it and practice with it. She'd be like, yeah, sure. So I would go early, and I would stay late. And she would always sit down and start to play. But then other kids would come over to her, and she would stop to talk to them day after day after day after day. You know, you would think that if, you know, she wanted a student to excel, that she would help them, but day after day she would stop and brush me aside for these other kids to talk to them. So you can see where this is going, right? Day of the performance, I go in there, and of course I had a whole bunch of bullies in choir class, so I went in there just scared out of my mind. And I got to run through it one time with the piano while people were still getting ready, you know. It went okay then. It went pretty good then. Then I was there, and everybody was looking at me. This is a crowd of kids who wanted me to fail because they hated my guts. And I failed so hard. I could not find my starting note. I could not find the rhythm. I could not find anything. It was worse than the worst failure on any American Idol or X Factor or whatever show. It was the worst thing ever. It was completely humiliating. And kids were snickering. I could hear them. I could hear like, you know, I could hear those kind of noises, and I could hear like, you know, like when kids are giggling and being silent, and I could see that some of them were laughing. And even the teacher was just kind of smirking a little bit. You know, it's like she was trying to keep a straight face, but not quite doing it. Something about her eyes had changed, although I could not read them to tell exactly what. But she stopped me in the middle. She stopped me in the middle of it, and I didn't say anything. I just went back to my seat, and the kids just burst out laughing. And I couldn't leave. Nobody was allowed to leave, so I had to just sit there while other people were singing and doing it and doing awesome. And then it was pouring rain, and I didn't bring my coat, so I went out to the payphones in the rain, and you know, some of the kids followed me, and they told me that I am a crappy singer and I should never sing again. And I fired back at them. I'm like, well, I had no help with this. I had to go into this blinded cold, okay? So shut the heck up and go away. But it was all over school. You know, people were calling their friends and laughing about it, and it was all over school. And I called my mom to come and get me because she told me to call her when, you know, when I was done. And I just broke down on the phone, and I couldn't even tell her what was wrong. I just said, Mom, please just get here. And it was just so humiliating. I cried all the way home. I cried in my room for the rest of the day. I didn't want to go to school the next day, but I had to. And when I did, they mockingly sang it at me. They would just sing it at me. They would come up behind me and like sing it in my ear, all off key, just like I did. I'm sorry. And I thought that maybe I was not made to sing and that I shouldn't sing. There are no words for how that hurts. To take something I loved and turn it into something I hate. Sorry. Hold on, I'm controlling myself. Okay. It's alright. Sorry about that. But my mom convinced me that, you know, she said that the teacher did a bad thing by not helping me when I told her that she would stop and talk to the other kids. It was discovered later that she had her pets. She had pets, and they always got all the solos. No matter who auditioned before or after them that was better, those specific kids always got the solos. So, anyway, one of my friends that was in the class, she had a beautiful audition. She did a song from the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. You know, in my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be. Or however that song goes. You know, she did that song. I love that song, in my own little corner. And she did a beautiful job, and she didn't get the solo either. She didn't get a solo. And it was always, I found out their pets, teachers' pets were the rich kids. Go figure, right? But anyway, that experience pretty much ruined me for live performances. I get so sick and scared. You know, if someone promises me with their soul that they will not let me fail. You know, like the Treasures in Heaven thing, I was surrounded by people that wanted me to succeed. And that makes a big difference. My choir directors, Hayden and Pro, they were very supportive of me when I told them my story. I'm gonna get a lawnmower here pretty soon. But that is why my cover songs mean so much to me. Because I can sing kind of in secret, and then I can share it. And I know that it sounds good. It's not great, I'm not the best singer, but I can express myself with those cover songs in a comfortable environment. Because I love to sing. I really do. That experience really hurt me. That school thing. That school thing really hurt me. And that's the source of my stage fright. And someday I will completely overcome it, but I haven't yet. But I'm getting there. I think I'll get there someday. Anyway, I'm gonna have a lawnmower going, so I'm gonna close this video. But there you go. That's my story.